One of the most common ads I see for the Apple Vision Pro is of people using it on planes, and they show themselves being immersed in an amazing giant display. I had some business trips the last few weeks, and I decided to take the Vision Pro with me, and, well, here's how it all went. The Apple Vision Pro only comes with this eye mask for the front display. Beyond that, it really isn't practical to store it directly in your bag, and I most definitely would not put this in a carry-on. The internal lenses are exposed and could get damaged. But Apple does sell an unsurprisingly Apple-level expensive $200 case for the Apple Vision Pro, but you can buy cheaper third-party cases off of Amazon. They're made for other headsets besides the Vision Pro, but they fit the Vision Pro just fine and cost way less. I would avoid this Syntec one though, because of its egg-like shape, it takes up way too much space in a bag. The Salomon one looks like it fits a lot more compactly, but even then, all of this stuff would take up a lot of space. Here's how it looks compared to my Sony noise-canceling headphones case right next to it. It's massive. Having both noise-canceling headphones and the Vision Pro in your travel bag could be a huge pain. I could probably fit 2 to 3 days worth of clothes for all the space that this Vision Pro in a case takes up. So you will have to make room to fit this thing, and you'll be packing less in your bag. Also, when you're traveling with the Vision Pro, just remember that this thing does not have cellular support like an iPhone or an iPad. So you'll need to download all of your media beforehand, rely on Wi-Fi, or hotspot off your phone. Also, with battery life, this thing will only last you around 2.5 hours. So you definitely need to make sure to keep this thing charged, or make sure that your mode of transportation has outlets for you to plug into. Okay, the last item before I get into all the details about trying this thing on different places is that when you bring the Vision Pro with you, you might want to also consider bringing along a Bluetooth keyboard or a MacBook with you. Typing on the Vision Pro is significantly slower without a physical keyboard. You can use your voice by doing speech to text. TheVerge.com. But in some instances, you may not want to loudly speak out what you're actively searching or typing into, say, like an important confidential email. You can also stare at each of the individual letters and start tapping your finger, and it'll register those as typing. But after doing that for a while, I noticed that I was straining my eyes quite a bit and I developed a headache. And then lastly, you can just reach out and start pecking with your pointer fingers. I don't really like this method because there's no physical haptic feedback, so you don't get a good sense of whether you've actually hit the keys or not. If you connect your Mac to a Vision Pro, you're able to mirror your Mac's display in the Vision Pro and use its trackpad and keyboard within Vision OS. So if you bring along a keyboard and you know how to type on a keyboard, you'll be significantly faster than if you used any of those other 3 methods. So that's nice if you want to be productive and type faster. But you can be even more productive with this new productivity app that I've been enjoying, and today's sponsor, Magical. Magical is a free Chrome extension that saves me a ton of time by automating all the repetitive work tasks that I find boring, like writing emails, filling out spreadsheets, or updating forms. I've noticed a lot of my back and forth emails are kind of repetitive. I'm always typing the same thing over and over and over. With Magical, I created templates to quickly write an email or reply depending on the situation. Once a template is created, you can quickly expand the template by typing / and selecting it, or just by typing the keyboard trigger. This automatically populates that template, and it works on any site. What's great about Magical is that you can add placeholders like first name or really any other bit of information you want into these templates, which autofills when you expand it. That way you never have to type it out, and Magical personalizes the message specifically for you, saving you tons of time. Too tired to create your own templates for different scenarios? Then you can use Magical's AI reply feature and get a response generated for you right then and there. You see these little buttons pop up under any message that you're reading, and then Magical uses AI to write an appropriate reply given the context of the message. It really saves me a lot of time because I don't have to compose an email or message from scratch. So being able to just quickly call up a template or use AI reply to just shoo them away has been a huge time saver. So if you're interested in saving time and automating your work, install Magical for free in the link in the video description below, or just go to their website link at getmagical.com/Jimmy. And thanks again to Magical for sponsoring a portion of this video. Okay, so what travel situations did I end up using the Apple Vision Pro? I tried it on a bus, on a plane, and in hotel rooms. Let's start with the bus situation, because this one's interesting. When you have the Vision Pro in a case, it's a little tedious to take it out because it takes a minute to get everything out before you strap the Vision Pro to your face, which is also time consuming. Then you have to find a good spot to place the battery. This is also where I saw my first snag. The Apple Vision Pro has a travel mode. This is a toggle that you can see when you have the headset on that you're supposed to activate if you want to use it while you're in a moving vehicle. However, in a moving vehicle without travel mode on, the Vision Pro cannot track properly. And in this state, when you put the headset on, it returns an error message unless the vehicle stops moving, which means you either have to remember to turn on travel mode before you get on the bus, or wait for the bus to get to a complete stop, wait for tracking to work, then activate travel mode, all before the bus starts moving again. Not ideal. So my first bus ride, honestly, I just gave up. I wasn't able to get it up and running while the bus was moving. But that same day, on my ride home at night, I made sure that I had travel mode on before getting on the bus. And then it just worked, even in the dark. It tracked my hands and the environment, and it was so cool being able to see how far I was from home in Apple Maps while music was playing on Apple Music, and I was able to web browse and just look around. It was a completely different experience from just scrolling on your phone. It was like having 3 iPads up at once on a dark bus that no one but me could see. It did feel a little strange wearing it in public places like this, and you might get a question from someone here and there, but most people, they just don't care and they'll just leave you alone. Occasionally on the bus, whether it's during the day or at night, every 5 to 10 minutes or so, the tracking does occasionally fail, displaying an error message for a few seconds before correcting itself. It stops your video, pauses your music, and clears all the apps you have up when the error is displayed. But they all come right back once the error disappears. So if you are planning to use it on a bus, it's not ideal. Most bus rides aren't long, so I can't imagine it's worth taking it out of its case and out of your bag instead of just using your phone unless it's a long bus ride. Okay, so that was buses, but taking this thing on plane trips though, that's a completely different story. When I took the Vision Pro through security, I left it in my backpack even though it's technically a computer. It passed through just fine without needing to be taken out of my bag for further inspection. I don't know if this will happen every time, but that's what I've seen for myself so far. Using it while you're at a gate is just like how you use it at home. So you have plenty of time to relax, do what you want to do on the Vision Pro, and get it into travel mode before you get on the plane. But once you get on the plane, your space is obviously limited, especially in the back of an economy seat like I am. So it makes it a little hard to get your bag out from under your seat and take the case out. And it gets a little cluttered on your lap. But once it's out and the case is put away, the experience of enjoying content on the Vision Pro is unmatched. All right, guys, it's confession time. Take out your phones, unless you're watching this video on your phone, just keep it where it is. You're not watching things or viewing content on your phone like this, are you? No, you're most likely putting it downward down here where you're looking and angling your head and tilting it slightly downward because it's easier on your arms. But putting yourself in this position, you put a bit more tension on your neck and potentially your back. When you see the Vision Pro, you're sitting straight, staring right in front of you. So it's so much more comfortable than leaning over to look over your laptop, tablet, or phone. It stopped feeling like I was on a plane and I was just enjoying what I wanted to watch without the constraints of physical space. The tracking was perfect, and I never saw that tracking error message that I did on the bus. The only snag that I encountered was when the flight attendant came by with some snacks. The cabin was dark, and with the headset on, I couldn't see her coming from my peripheral, and I couldn't see the snacks that she was offering me in the dark. And because I'm a sucker for some free airplane snacks, I had to pop my headset off and tell her what I wanted, grab it, then put my headset back on. And if you fly on a plane with Wi-Fi and entertainment options, you can even connect to it, surf the internet, or watch the free movies you get access to. It's a pretty good overall experience, and much better than I expected. Just remember to be charging this thing while you use it, or else you risk running out of charge on longer flights. Most flights won't be under 2.5 hours, right? Especially international. You'll definitely want to keep this thing charged, or you'll have a giant paperweight. So that was my experience on planes. You can tell it was very positive. Now, what about hotels? If you stayed in a lot of hotels for personal reasons or business, you probably found that the TVs might not have the channels that you like, lack streaming options, or just positioned strangely in their rooms. These issues could be easily fixed if you brought along something like a streaming stick or a tablet with you, but there could be other problems that makes these not as practical options. Sometimes the hotel doesn't have an HDMI port for you to plug in your streaming stick into, or when you use a tablet, you gotta strain your neck or back, kinda like on the airplane. But with the Vision Pro, it lets me lay in the hotel bed, have my body angled in my most comfortable position, and just relax my entire body and enjoy what I'm doing. It was really nice being able to watch the shows or read manga this way instead of straining my body a little with an iPad. The best way to describe it is I didn't move my body to adjust to a display in front of me. I adjusted the display to where my body was most comfortable instead. Now there's other problems, like if you have another guest with you, they can't see what you're doing. So it's a one-person experience. But if you're all alone in the hotel, it's a completely different experience. It's very relaxing. You really have to try it for yourself. So that was my experience preparing and using it for travel. But at this point, it's conclusion time. Should you use the Apple Vision Pro for travel? The Apple Vision Pro is not a great bus companion and does not do well in that situation at all. Combined with needing to make sure travel mode is turned on beforehand is annoying. But it is great for an immersive experience on a long plane ride or for hotel stays. It doesn't fully replace a computer, but I do think that this can replace a tablet. The only problem with it right now is that it requires a bit of setup time. If this device can get a little bit more portable, I think it'd be an on-the-go traveler's best friend. Kind of like how noise-canceling headphones have become so common to see on planes. But at the same time, an iPad and streaming stick combination is much cheaper and already handles the media consumption part well for the average traveler, and they probably already own those devices, even though that does mean you don't get a giant screen in your face. Anyway, what do you personally think? Have you tried using the Vision Pro for travel? Do you think it's a good fit for you? What use cases do you think this device is good for? This video is by no means a full review. I learn something new about this thing every single day. And since this is such a different category, I'm saving a full review for a bit later. But this is my last video on this topic until then. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking forward to the next one, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Bye.